Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Myrrh. I come from Norway and I love makeup, and today I'm going to repan my Clionadh Cosmetics single eyeshadows into circular pans. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I often make own custom palettes, for example like this, and I want to put a few of the Clionadh ones in here and they don't fit because they have rectangular pans. So I'm going to fix that by repanning them into these circular pans. I also ended up blending together several of these shades, so that is very interesting to see how they look combined as one shade. So if you want to see how I do that, keep watching. I do feel a little bit sad about this because I think they look so beautiful in these rectangular pans. It's just for my use I have to repan them, but it's okay. I will probably keep the rectangular pans at least for a while, and well, I don't think I'll ever repan them back into them, but we will see. Anyway, the equipment I use for repanning is, first I just use rubbing alcohol. I do use as high percentage as possible. I think this is something like 96%. Then I use a spatula. It's basically just for getting shadows out of the pan. Then I use some paper for pressing, and for pressing I use this one. It's a coffee tamper, and I do have some other kind of tools from TKB Trading as well, so if those are easily available to you, I do recommend using that. But this is very easy to use, and I got it from, I think, AliExpress or Wish or something, and it's the size, I think, 24 millimeters. So I just move it a bit around in the pan because it's a little bit smaller than the pan, but it does have to fit, so it needs to be a little bit smaller. And just to control the alcohol I'm putting into the shadow, I'm only using alcohol to be able to tuck the shadow neatly into the pan because if not it's just gonna float out and be a mess because it's so dry. But I use this one just to add a little bit of alcohol just to keep everything tucked in nicely into the pan. So I guess I can just start, and I'll probably just show you one or two and then maybe speed through the rest, or yeah, I don't know. I'll at least show you how I do it. Oh, and the reason why I put them like this is because these I've already swatched in my previous video on Clionadh Cosmetics, and these are the ones I have from my newest order, which is, I mean, I think it's a few months ago at least, but they're so stunning. And this one was actually a freebie. It's the one called Luminous. So when I start doing this, I make sure that I have a clean pan. Obviously these are just purchased and never used, but I usually just spray a little bit in there to be sure, and then it's basically just to get all the product in there. Oh, and it could be smart to actually do this on top of the paper, just in case I spill something, it's easy to get it back into the pan. So now that it is quite full already, because all of it is loose in there, I just grab a little bit of alcohol and add to the pan. This will just make it sink through and take up less space. Now this is quite tedious if you do it like I do right now. If you want to speed it up, you could just take everything out of the pan and onto a paper towel like this and just pour it like, I don't know, can you see what I'm doing right now? Pour it like this into the pan, like the taco method that Faces by Gina calls it. So I'm just gonna show you like this method. It's literally just to do like this, and then you switch the papers for each time you spill something. But since I did it quite tediously the first time with just a spatula, I don't need to do this more than this one time. And you can see that I have a lot of product here. I think it's gonna be fine because I do have a few Clionadh shadows that I already did this with, and they are full, but they didn't like spill over. What you could do though is to save a little bit of each shadow and just try to mix a few of them together and make your own custom shades. Like for example, if you mix this iridescent one with a deep purple, that could be interesting. Or I don't know, if you mix this purple one with the green and blue and purple one, I don't know, could be pretty. It's hard to know what you'll get though. I'll just let this sit. It could be nice to just lift it and drop it a little bit. That is just to get rid of any air bubbles that might be underneath, but usually it's just fine, and you can use this tool later to press the shadow down anyways. But so there we have the first one, and I'll just continue with the rest of them. Now I've done almost half of the shades and I took a lunch break, so these are getting drier. So I'm just gonna use some paper, and then I'll use my coffee tamper and press down on the shadow. And I did end up taking away a lot of the shadow from the other ones because it's just so full. There's so much product in these shadows. So let's hope that we can squeeze this down. This is the result of my repanning. All the bottom shades here are just shades that I mixed together with some of the excess from the other shades, because I didn't want to just overfill all of the pans, because it's just a mess if you do that. And I'm so happy with how some of these turned out. So I figured I would swatch the ones that I made a custom mix of and tell you what's in the mix. And I did organize them a little bit by color now, but I suppose I should organize them so that I can swatch the ones I haven't swatched on my channel yet as well. But I will just start with the custom shades. So I will zoom in a little bit. So this first custom shade is a mix of Myrrh, Hilt and Luminous, which is that iridescent purple. And it is very stunning. It has a lot of sparkles to it. This is not the angle that I'm used to swatching in, so I hope you can see like the shifts and stuff. But I will show you afterwards with lighting, because this has those blue to purple sparkles from Myrrh, but also pink and orange sparkles from Hilt. So it's very, very pretty. Then I have this one. It is just a very like golden green pink shade. It is a mix of Embellishment, Duke and Goblet. And I'll swatch that next to Hilt. It is a very sparkly, of course, and very shiny. So there is that. Super pretty. This next one is a mix of Orchard and Line of Queens. It's a little bit darker than a previous one and a little bit more green, I think. Yeah. It's also very sparkly and has a lot of colors to it. Wow, so pretty. I'm so excited to mix these because I love when there is a lot of sparkles in my shadows, and these obviously have a lot of sparkles and different colored sparkles. This next one is one of my favorites that I mixed. It's Royal Pear mixed with Catalyst, which is that dark purple actually, together with I think it's, oops, this one or this one? No, this one. So it's just a green to pink, but it was a very interesting mix because you can see a lot of those purple sparkles in it, and it's just a lot more cool toned than the other ones that I have from Clionadh that are like the ones that I actually ordered. It's a little bit more cooler toned, and it has that super purple sparkle and a little bit of blue too from Catalyst. So that is a very interesting combo, I find. Look at those sparkles. Next we have this one. This one was like not that different, I find. It's Sandblast, Lite and Mural. It's just a little bit more of a green undertone to it from Mural. So it has a bit more of a murky shade or base with that orange, very orange, fiery shift. It's very pretty, but it's not that different from Sandblast Lite. Then we have this one, which is maybe my favorite. I don't know which one I like the most of this one and the mix between Royal Pear and Catalyst, but this one has a lot in it. So it has mostly, I think it's Volt and Duchess. It's a lot of Duchess in this one, which is that lighter green shade over here. It's a lot of that one. Then I have a little bit of this mix, like Sandblast, Lite and Mural. I had some leftovers, so I just put it in here. And this one is just like a very, I don't know, just almost a taupe neutral, but with tons of sparkles and shine to it. So very interesting, I find. So this one I really like. I mean, can you even see the sparkles? It's so pretty. But I think maybe this is my favorite. I don't know, I really like those two. They're very pretty. Last but not least, this is maybe least exciting to me because it's a mix of burnish, light and ferric, and those are relatively similar already. So I didn't find that this is giving me something very new. It's just more of a, I don't know, it's just a very sparkly metallic green, but it also has that gold to what was I supposed to say now? Gold, green and orange shift. It's very pretty too. But yeah, those are the ones I mixed together with the leftover from the different shades. What do you think? I think they're so pretty. So I'm gonna try to show you with different lighting. I don't know, it's a completely different angle than I'm used to, but I hope that you can like see all the sparkles and shifts. I don't know. It's a little bit hard for me to see. Maybe here. Just look at that mix between Catalyst and Royal Pear. That purple shift is so stunning. And here you can see a bit more what I was talking about with this one. The mix between Duchess and Volt and Sandblast, Lite and Mural. Wow, they're so stunning. I'm so excited. This was not something I planned when I started filming, so it's fun that I ended up doing it. And I don't know if you can see all the sparkles of that Mural, Myrrh and Luminous shade, the first one. But that one was very stunning in my indoor lighting. But yeah, those are the ones I mixed. I'm going to show you also the ones that I haven't swatched already from the original Clionadh Cosmetics shadows. Now I'll just go ahead and swatch these 4 together and these 5 together. They're kind of in the same color story. So I'll just start with these. So it's first Goblet right here. It is a very vibrant kind of shade. It has a kind of peachy base with a bright lime shift. And I suppose it also shifts to pink, I think. It's a little bit hard to tell. But it's very pretty, and I did actually use it today as well, and it looks so vibrant on the eyes. That green shift is very visible. Then we have the shade Embellishment. It's kind of like a more neutral greenish gold shade, but it's also quite sparkly and very pretty. So that is Embellishment, a little bit more cooler toned as well. Then it is Duke right here. It is one of those green shadows with a very strong pink flip, pink to orange almost. And I cannot get enough of these shades. I have them in so many formulas from so many brands. But I still had to get this one. It's very pretty. Last but not least, it is the shade Orchard. It's one of those green to pink multichromes, but this one is a lot deeper and warmer in the base. It's more of an olive base, and you can see that the shift is also a bit warmer, more orange. So those are the 4 kind of warmer toned shadows. So from the top here, it's Goblet, Embellishment, Duke and Orchard. I hope you can see a little bit of those shifts and sparkles a bit better now. I'm trying to shine with my flashlight from the phone, but these are very pretty shadows. Lastly, I'll swatch these ones that are more purple kind of shades. This is Luminous, which I got as a freebie in my order, and it's a very beautiful, stunning purple iridescent shade, and you can see it's relatively cool toned. So that is Luminous. Next up we have one that everyone was talking about. It's Myrrh, and it's just such a fascinating shade because it has a very chartreusey green base while still being quite iridescent, and the shift goes from a more blue purple to a more pink purple. It's just very, very pretty and very reflective on the eye. I actually just posted a look with this shade on top of a deep green shade, I think it was, and a lot of people were like, wow, that is so reflective and pretty, and it really is. So that is Myrrh. This next one is also one that was very popular from the newer bunch of shadows. It's called Line of Queens, and it's a purple, but it's a relatively cool toned purple, but it has a kind of golden green shift and lots of colored sparkles. It's very stunning. So I understand that it's a popular shade. So that is Line of Queens. The next one I wasn't sure if I should pick up because it's like a blue-brown shade, and I feel like everyone has so many of these kind of shades, but it just looked really pretty and a little bit different from the other ones I have, I guess. So I did end up getting it, and it's very stunning. Definitely a shade you could use for a one and done look. And you can see it's got a lot of beautiful sparkles and it's super shiny. So that is Volt. Then we have this one. This is one of the, what were they called? I mean, it's called Catalyst, and it's one of the, it was not a dimensional, or was it? It was at least during that launch, and those were so sparkly and beautiful, so I just had to pick this one up, even though it's very dark and it's not something I use very often. But just look at how reflective that is. It has a very, very deep purple base, but it has both blue and purple sparkles, and it's just super stunning, and I do not regret getting this, although I haven't used it yet and I don't really see myself using it in the near future. But I'm very happy to have it because it's so unique and beautiful, and I'm sure it will look so stunning in the look. So those were the last shadows swatched, and I see that my camera isn't focusing, but maybe that's a good thing so I can show off the sparkles. Well, of course, then it focuses when I say that. But here I have the lighting from the side, trying to show you the sparkles a bit better. I just felt like I had to turn down the settings on my camera a bit so that it would be a bit darker. But here I think you can see the shifts a little bit better. Ooh, aren't they so pretty? I feel like the first one looks a little bit underwhelming, at least in comparison to the other ones, but it's also a very beautiful iridescent one. So again, we have Luminous, Myrrh, Line of Queens, Volt, and Catalyst. Really beautiful colors. Anyway, I think that's it for this video. I don't know how much I actually showed off the pressing because I filmed a lot, but it's kind of boring to watch, I think. But I hope that the swatches were helpful, and I hope that you enjoyed the mixing and matching of the different shadows. I think it was so fun, and I'm so happy to have all of these really, really unique shadows in my collection now, and with the Clionadh formula, which I really like. So that is very exciting. And of course it's also very nice to now finally be able to pop these shadows into my palette. And I re-decided and I want to put one of the ones that I mixed in here instead of the one I was planning to. And yeah, I guess I'll see you all in my next video, which is probably going to be about this palette. And it's going to be a new series on my channel, which is very exciting as well. So stay tuned if you're interested in seeing that. Bye!